Hi, I'm Stephen Armdale. I'm playing the character of Edward.
Hi, I'm Sophia Leanne Kelly and I'm playing Amelia.
I'm Danny Shepherd and I play Holly.
And I'm Harry Downing, the director, one of the producers, writer, and just for this I will substitute for the role of lawyer. And I will read the stage directions. Scene 1, interior, morning, Edward's apartment bedroom. Edward, a male, mid-20s, slim, brown hair, wakes up by an alarm on his mobile phone. He turns off his alarm, annoyed. He begrudgingly gets up with a look of disappointment on his face. Scene 2, interior, morning, Edward's apartment bathroom. He slowly trudges into the bathroom. Edward picks up his toothbrush and slowly brushes his teeth. Scene 3, interior, morning, Edward's apartment bedroom. Edward gets dressed into casual clothes. Edward picks up his keys, wallet and mobile phone from the dresser next to his bed. He walks out of his room and into the apartment building's hallway. Scene 4, interior, morning, Edward's apartment building, hallway. Edward walks out of his flat, locks his apartment door and he grudgingly walks away. Scene 5, interior, day, sandwich shop. Edward is stood behind the counter of the sandwich shop. His hands are busy making an egg sandwich. He wears a fake smile as he passes this sandwich on to a customer. Holly, female, mid-20s, slim, long brown hair, wearing a suit jacket, smart shirt and smart trousers, steps up to the counter.
Hey, how are you?
Edward smiles.
I'm good. Good, thanks. You?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Coffee with milk and sugar to go?
You know me so well.
Edward chuckles. He turns to make the coffee. He passes the cup of coffee over to her and Holly pays him the cash. Edward puts the cash in the cash register and she picks up her cup of coffee.
So, any plans for the weekend?
Just working.
Oh. Well, I was wondering if you wanted to get a drink after you finished at work.
Thanks. But, I'll be working late, so I don't think I'll be able to make it.
Oh. Well, if you change your mind, here's my number.
Holly slides a sheet of paper over to Edward. She turns and walks away looking disappointed. Edward looks at the paper that has Holly's number written on it. He puts the number in his pocket. He leaves the counter. Scene 6, interior, day, sandwich shop, later. Edward is wiping tables. He is interrupted by a ringing phone. He pulls his phone out of his pocket. Looking confused, he answers the phone.
Hello? Yes, who's speaking?
He listens to the phone call and drops the bottle of bleach spray. He looks distraught.
Really? When did it happen? Why are you calling me? Right, well, I'm free in 30 minutes. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye.
He hangs up, puts his phone back in his pocket. He wipes away a tear. He looks around the room. He finishes wiping the table and walks away. Scene 7, interior, office, later that day. Edward is sitting in an office on a desk. A lawyer who is reading through a file sits opposite. In this file is a large brown envelope in which the lawyer slides it over to him. The lawyer speaks. Miss Albright wrote this letter to you in her final days. She told me to give it to you in the event of her death.
I don't understand. We haven't seen each other or spoken in 4 years. We didn't exactly end on good terms.
I don't know. Perhaps it's because of your relationship that the two of you had. The lawyer, while talking, gets up out of his chair, walks over to the office door and opens it. Mr. Pearson, whatever happened between you and Miss Albright is in the past. Perhaps the answer to all your questions lies in a letter to you. The lawyer pauses at the door. Thank you for coming in today on such short notice. And I am terribly sorry to be the one that told you the news. Edward, upset, slowly gets up out of the chair. He looks at the envelope distraught. He picks it up, walks over to leave and shakes the lawyer's hand. Edward quietly leaves. The lawyer closes the door behind Edward. Scene 8, exterior dusk, outside lawyer's firm. Edward exits the building, envelope in hand. He stops outside the entrance to look closely at the envelope. On the front of the envelope it says, "For Edward Pearson." He walks away from the firm. Scene 9, interior, night, Edward's apartment. Edward walks into his apartment like a zombie. There is dirty laundry all over the floor. He puts the envelope on his dining table on a pile of unopened letters. Scene 10, interior, night, Edward's apartment kitchen. He goes to the kitchen to make a cup of tea. Scene 11, interior, night, Edward's apartment. He sits down on the dining table, stares at a pile of envelopes. He puts down his cup of tea and he picks up the brown envelope from the lawyer and he carefully opens it. Inside is several folded pages of A4 paper. He unfolds the pages and begins to read them.
Ed, I'm sorry you had to find out this way, but I have cancer. Or, I had cancer. Because if you're reading this, then I didn't make it. I just wanted to say that I've forgiven you. After all those years we didn't speak, after you broke up with me in that damn cafe.
Scene 12, flashback, interior day, cafe, 4 years earlier. Flashback to Edward and Amelia in their early 20s are sitting opposite each other in the cafe, both with coffee cups in their hands. Amelia is upset.
I was heartbroken. We were in love for so long.
Amelia gets up from the table and storms out of the cafe. Edward stays seated and is also upset. Scene 13, present. Edward's apartment bedroom, night. Edward, laying in bed, continues to read the letter.
I admit, we did have our fair share of arguments.
Scene 14, flashback. Exterior and interior, day and night, montage. The couple have arguments in different locations. Edward's apartment, Amelia's apartment. She is shouting at him while he is distraught on her sofa. In the street, Amelia is further ahead while Edward follows behind, shouting at her as her pace quickens. Finally, at a party in a friend's flat that they attend, wearing smart casual clothing and in the kitchen area of the flat, he is drunk and she's sober. Scene 15, flashback, interior, night, Edward's apartment. Edward and Amelia are shouting at each other angrily, in which it ends with tears welling up in Amelia's face and she runs out of the apartment. Scene 16, flashback, interior, night, Edward's apartment, building, hallway. Amelia slams the apartment door. She stops and begins to cry. She plants her back to the wall and sinks slowly to the floor while crying. Her hands quickly cover her face and slowly she places her face between her arms as they cross. Scene 17, flashback, interior, night, Edward's apartment bedroom. Edward sits down on his bed. Tears fill his eyes as he rises his phone to his face. He throws his phone onto the bed and sinks into the bed, wiping away his tears. Scene 18, present, interior day, sandwich shop. The next day, Edward is leaning on the counter of the sandwich shop. He continues to read Amelia's letter.
But we would always work it out.
Scene 19, flashback, interior morning, Amelia's apartment. Amelia, alone in her apartment, feeling down, wearing tracksuit trousers and a hoodie. There's a knock on the door. She goes to answer it. At the door is Edward. He is melancholy and is hiding something behind his back, in which it reveals to be a single rose flower. She picks it out of his hand and the two hug and kiss.
I loved you. A petty argument never changed that. Remember all the wonderful memories we had? All the trips to the cinema?
Scene 20, flashback, interior day, cinema screen. The couple are holding hands, sitting together at a cinema screen, watching a film. Scene 21, flashback, interior day, Amelia's apartment. Amelia is limping around her apartment, while Edward supports her weight on him as he guides her to her bed.
That time I broke my foot.
Scene 22, flashback, exterior day, countryside. A montage. The couple are walking through the countryside with a picnic basket and picnic blanket. The two of them share food, glasses of wine, laugh and roll in the grass together.
The picnics.
Scene 22, flashback, interior and exterior, night, a nightclub and the street. Montage, the couple are dancing in the club together. They walk the streets holding hands and they kiss in front of the city's fountain.
The nights out.
Scene 24, flashback, day, Amelia's apartment. Amelia is opening a gift wrap box in which inside is a locket.
My birthday present.
Amelia is happy to see it. Edward puts it around her neck and the two of them kiss.
I never took it off after that day. I loved that locket.
Scene 25, present, interior, day, sandwich shop. Later in the day, Edward is sat at the table of the empty sandwich shop. He continues to read the letter. He looks at the envelope. There is an object inside it. He gracefully slides it out and sees it's the locket.
After we broke up, I did try to date again. but none of them were you. I will always remember our first days.
Scene 26, flashback, exterior, dusk, restaurant. Edward is waiting outside a restaurant, wearing a long coat over a suit jacket and jeans. Amelia, wearing a blouse and jeans, walks towards him and speaks to him.
Edward?
Yes. Hi. Oh, you look lovely.
Thank you.
Amelia smiles. Edward opens the restaurant door for her like a gentleman, and she walks in first, followed by Edward. Scene 27, flashback, interior, dusk, restaurant. In the restaurant, the two of them share a meal and drinks. They laugh and talk. When the date ends, he puts her jacket on her, and the two of them happily walk out of the restaurant. Scene 28, flashback, exterior, day, train.
I also went travelling,
Amelia sits on a train by the window and looks out the window reminiscing.
but I would have loved if you were there with me, to share the memories.
Scene 29, flashback, exterior, day, the beach. Amelia is enjoying the sunshine, the ice cream, the port town, and the beach by swimming and running into the ocean in a montage.
Sadly, the doctors have told me that I should prepare for the worst. I've written this letter to tell you. I love you. I've always loved you. Don't make the same mistakes as me. Find someone that loves you the same as I did.
Scene 30, interior, dusk, Edward's apartment. Edward is in tears as he finishes reading the letter.
Our time on this earth is short. I hope that you make your days count. Always yours, Amelia.
Edward puts down the letter. He wipes away his tears. He looks to the envelope where he discovers the edge of a photograph popping out of the envelope. He takes the photo out of the envelope and it reveals to be Amelia at the beach looking out to the ocean. He turns over the photo in which on the back, in Amelia's handwriting, it says, "Thinking of you," with a little X. Edward puts all the documents together but keeps hold of the photo. He rummages through his old pair of jeans and pulls out the paper Holly gave him. He pulls his phone out of his pocket, dials, and talks. Scene 31, interior, day, sandwich shop. Edward confidently walks in. His manager is at the counter. Edward, still confident, walks over to the counter. He speaks to his manager. The two shake hands as he walks out with a smile on his face. Scene 32, interior, day, Edward's apartment bedroom. Edward is fixing the tie on his suit. He looks into the mirror with a smile on his face and walks out of the room. Scene 33, interior, day, montage. Edward goes on a series of interviews within a different range of offices, in which he is speaking to all the people that are interviewing him. Scene 34, interior, day, office. Edward shakes the hand of the interviewer with a smile on his face. Edward happily walks out of the office. Scene 35, interior, night, Edward's apartment. Edward, wearing a smart shirt and jeans, puts the photo of Amelia into a photo album, in which he places the photo album on his shelf of books. Edward grabs his jacket and leaves the apartment, carrying his phone, wallet and keys. Scene 36, exterior, night, street outside club. Holly is waiting outside the club, wearing a going-out dress. Edward walks over to her. She turns to him with a smile.
Hey,
Hi.
Edward looks at Holly.
I like your dress.
thank you.
Holly smiles. Edward gestures to the club.
Shall we?
Scene 37, interior, nightclub. The two share stories, have drinks and laugh together in a montage. Scene 38, exterior, night, outside club, later that evening. Holly and Edward walk out of the club. Holly rubs her arms. Edward puts his jacket around her and the two of them walk down the street, slowly holding each other's hands. The end.